Okay, okay. Now I wanted to ask you about Phone Tap. Now, to my understanding, you produced that record for the firm and Nas.
Yeah, I wrote that music and produced it with Dre.
Oh, wow. Man,
So what
that's a
I did was,
legendary
this is what
track
happened. Let
right
me tell you
there.
how that happened. So the firm was this big project that we were doing at Aftermath. It got us with East Coast rappers, and for the first time, like, we gonna produce them. So we got Nas and Foxy Brown and AZ and Carmega, who ended up going to jail. So that when I'd signed with Aftermath as a producer, right about 2 months before that project. So when I signed on, so now mind you, I had left Death Row before all the madness went. I left, and then Dre left, and then all this stuff happened. So Dre went and started a company. I wasn't there. I was like, man, I'm cool. I'm gonna just do something else because I wasn't really concerned with being harmed, but it was the money. Sometimes dealing with Suge and Death Row and that stuff, it was weird. Like, just say. So I
Right.
was trying to go get. I had to eat, so I was like, nah, I'm good. So then, my boy Mike Lynn, him and RC, they was my group, Po Broken Lonely. Mike Lynn went on and was with Dre, and Rube went and signed a solo deal with Dre. So they was both telling me, you need to come over here. He gonna hook you up. So I talked to Mike Lynn, and he convinced me to go talk to Dre because I was like not really feeling it at all. And then I went over there and threw some numbers out, and he gave me what I asked for, which I should have asked for something else. But he was gonna give me whatever I wanted, which he always does. So I went with Aftermath. So I'm at Aftermath. I'm used to being the number one guy, right? So I got to go in there and get back into my slot some kind of way. Cool. Not push. If it's already a number one guy, I'm going to chill. Figure it out, right? So the studio is a weird place. Where you sit is important. It's like if you watch Star Trek, you'll see Captain Kirk in a chair, but you'll see Spock right here all the time. And you got them dudes that sit in the front,
Oh
Chekhov,
yeah.
Sulu, they sit in their spots. And Homegirl is over there. It's the same in the studio. And if you in somebody's spot, they normally get up, or you will get up when they come in the room, right? So when I came to Aftermath, they got right up out that chair, whoever was in it, and just was like, yo. It was so much love. I walked right in there and sat my ass down in my chair, which is next to Dre, for the whole time. They didn't even trip. It was a group of producers. Stu, Butter. And we had great keyboard players, Kamara Campbell. I brought in Mailman through Butter. We had all these people, and they was like, so the firm was the project on the whiteboard after we named the company because we didn't have a name. So come up with Aftermath, and then we working on this firm. So we supposed to be working on this firm record. Dre has a place called the Dome. This is where we had like 150,000 records, all alphabetized and in genre like jazz, blah 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 blah, whatever, instrumental, acapella, woo, woo, woo. We had that, and it was in an aircraft hangar with some turntables,
Mm.
an MPC drum machine, a DAT machine, all the stuff you needed to get your beat going, right? So I used to slide over there all the time. It was just like an after hours thing for me. I was always working. So when I leave the studio, I go over there and stay all night. So I had a few things. This is right when I got there first week. So I had a few ideas that I couldn't really flip right, and I put them on a deck. So I go to the studio one day, and then I got Stu. He comes up to me and says, "Man, so you got to have beats for the firm. If you're gonna go on the plane, you got to get your seat." And I was like, "Get a seat." It's like I'm thinking to myself, "Nigga, if Dre going, I'm going. I don't know. I don't understand your concept." I was
Right.
like Spock, right? I was like, okay. And then another one of them was like, yeah, man, it's like they had some kind of competition or something going right to get on the seat or whatever, first class. I don't know what it was, but I know I always blame on first class. I was a Death Row, bro. I don't know what y'all talking about. I grew up in this industry. I'm going first class on a limo to the airport. That's how we travel. It's not like being special. That's car service. Like, what are you guys talking about? I got to earn my seat. Okay. So I purposely didn't do any music. I found a couple of things I was fucking with, and I didn't make nothing. And I let them do the
Wow.
scramble, right? So Dre hit me. So you ready to go there? I said, I thought I wasn't going because he said, man, whatever. The car will be there, blah, 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 blah. So my boy and I, we get to Miami, we out there, right? Them dudes got beats. They playing stuff for Dre. They playing, and he's deciding we working on something. It's going down. I don't got no beats, nothing to play, because I'm a cook-up artist, right? So I like to get with the artist in the studio and make it up right then. So I had this DAT. So I started listening to those loops. I started loading them into the MPC, right? So the way we work, everybody's in the studio. Dre got everything hooked up. The MPC that you can work on, you can put on headphones, it's all connected so they can record at any moment, right? It's also made that way so they can turn it on at any moment and turn it all the way up and make fun of your whack beat. So it's a purposeful design to clown cats. You know, because you go through some whack. Well, I don't, but most cats go through some whackness before they get to what they want, right? And it's that point where it's funny. And so I'm on this drum machine. So I get on them, I put on the headphones. You know, I didn't make no beats, right? I didn't even bring sounds. I had a stack of records. I was going to make drums and shit. So Butter had this drum machine loaded up. Shout out to Bud. That's my dog. He was like, oh man, you can use this shit in there. I was like, Butter, I don't want to use your drums. These your drums, man. You know, you worked on these, bro. See, our kits were us. So he was like, nah, bro, go ahead, man. Use whatever you want. I said, Bud, if I use these drums, you will never be able to use them again. I'm trying to tell you. And he's like, man, he laughed. Ha ha. You know what I mean? He scoffed. That's what that is when they scoff at you. So I said, okay, cool. So I found a dope ass snare. I was like, ooh, I tricked a little bit. And I had this loop, but I couldn't loop it. It was off beat. And I kept on fucking, wow. So I sat down that day, put them headphones on, and I came up with a beat, right? I was like, oh, then I got that loop. And I said, oh, I got to play this loop and make it start here. So then I got it flipped, right? And so I'm sitting there listening to it like, I'm going like this, like, okay, I'm going to put this bass line in real quick. And I'm just doing this. So Dre look up. They got some other music going, right? And he look at me and he see me going like this. He said, what glove cooking? And he turned that shit all the way up. Woof. And them niggas turned up phone tap. When that shit came on, so the way it was set up, we was upstairs in the SSL room. Okay, let me back it up. We went to Miami to do this thing because the East Coast, West Coast thing had just got to a hill. Biggie had just got killed. Nobody was coming here. We wasn't going to New York. So we all did a mob meeting in Miami for 2 weeks. We found a studio with an SSL for us on the first floor, second floor, and a Neve for them on the first floor. So Nas and them was friends with the track masters. They was always kind of hung, LES. So they was in the studio downstairs. They was doing Desperado, actually. That nigga said, what glove hooking up? He turned that shit up. Bro, they came flying in the door. I saw papers get torn off of them pads, and they sat down at the front with some pens. It was like, what is this? And then I said, bro, you know how people talk on the phone and they never do just a little part, because it was always just a little part. It would come in as an answer. I said, y'all got these voices that's dope. So we should make them like the phone, the whole record. Like y'all gotta be somewhere, you in another country or something. Y'all can only talk on the phone. That's the reason. So that's why we called it phone tap. And they was like, yeah, that's, you know, and then everybody puts in, you know what I mean? It ain't just a rapper writes the verse. We all have a concept. And Dre was like, that's dope. And then he said, we got your phone tap. Nas like, we got your phone tap. What you gonna do? Sooner or later, we have all we need now is the right word or two. You know, that's Nas. You could tell. If he was rapping it, you'd be like, that's Nas. Dre's part. So, you know, that was fun that day. So, and then everything else, I mean, but that one was just spectacularly, it was an announcement, and it was the first day.
Damn, you set it off.
Yeah, because we was working on one thing for Don Robinson to be on, and then he said, what glove cooking on? Bang! Phone tap.
Man, that's major. I appreciate you sharing that one for sure.
Absolutely.
Man, so dang, you worked with
Butter
Dre.
can't never use them drums either. I told him, nigga. That's phone tap drum. I tried to tell you. Shout out to Bud and his beautiful
big
wife.
Shout out to Bud.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So wow.